There have been many TV shows over the years focusing on paranormal investigators, exploring a wide variety of locations in the hope of capturing evidence to prove the existence of ghosts. Most, if not all, of these shows focus on the investigation itself, the location, and the sole reason for their being, entertaining the viewer. The TV personalities that have dominated our screens for years are often seen as the pinnacle of paranormal investigating. Their techniques, their equipment, and their theories often imitated by many groups around the world. For this mini-series, I wanted to go back to basics. I wanted to meet the people on the ground, those who for some spend every single weekend travelling the UK, visiting locations that are purported to be haunted. I wanted to take the attention away from the ghosts, away from the jump factor that many shows have employed over the years, and delve into the psyche of the people who are dedicating their lives to investigating the paranormal. Why do they do it? What exactly do they think they are investigating? And is it just as the TV shows would have us believe? For me, it was time to go behind the equipment, so to speak, and truly understand why these people do what they do. Having been in and around paranormal investigating for over a decade now, I have met some truly fantastic people and made many friends, and now I would like for you to meet them. For this episode, we are joining GC Paranormal at Guys Cliffe House. Hi Greg.
Hiya.
You okay?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Well, firstly, let me thank you for allowing us to come and join you on, such a fantastic building, fantastic investigation. Is this a place that you've been before?
Yeah, came back in 2016 and 2015. Just incredible building. You've got the shell of a building here and a fire, and then you've got the chapel, and you've got caves by the river. It's just a really large location to investigate, and I've wanted to come back here for a really, really long time, and I've had lots of people asking me, when am I doing Guys Cliffe, when am I going to do Guys Cliffe, so I thought I need to book it really, so really excited to be back here, definitely.
So there's a lot of people that have asked you to come back. You were keen to come back yourself.
Yeah.
Is that because you found a lot of evidence when you were here last time? Did you capture anything good?
Yeah, so the night started off a bit quiet, as a lot of vets do, but it was just the amount of audible phenomena that we're hearing. For example, we were in the chapel, and there's a meeting room upstairs that has a lot of tables and chairs, and it was like someone was in a party upstairs.
Right.
And two of us ran upstairs, and the chairs had moved, the tables
Wow.
had moved. It was just absolutely incredible. And there was no way to kind of debunk that, so we went back downstairs into the chapel, and then again it was like bang bang bang, and it was moving upstairs. Went back upstairs, some of the chairs had moved again. Just a lot of audible phenomena here. We've captured children laughing.
Wow.
Like a lot of talking, like people having conversation when we're all being quiet. It's a lot of audible. We have seen some weird visual stuff outside. Not sure, it's hard to explain. It's almost like car headlights going past.
Okay.
Although from here we're very far from the main road.
Yes.
And everyone was accounted for. There was nobody outside, torch lights or anything like that. And but we've seen like weird lights outside and possible figures outside. But yeah, very, very, very strange location.
A very active location.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was it that initially got you into investigating the paranormal in general?
So there's been TV shows on that have been going for a really long time, and I was, like a lot of people, fans of these TV shows, and I just kind of thought, I wasn't that much of a believer in the supernatural, but I started watching these programs. I thought, is there a way that I could get involved? And that was about 13 years ago, and I just Googled like ghost hunting, and then a place came up called Woodchester Mansion in Gloucestershire, and that was my first ever paranormal investigation. That was almost 13 years ago. But back then it was a bit like, I thought everything was a ghost.
Yeah.
I might be standing behind an open window and go, why am I so cold? Or, or just every sound I would hear, I wasn't being rational about it. I was so excited to be in these like kind of reputedly haunted places. But after that first night at Woodchester Mansion, I was hooked, and I went with many companies, and then I wanted to do more serious investigating, and so I did a lot more research into history of places, and then just doing random phone calls, visiting places, speaking to staff, see what they've experienced, strange occurrences, and that's why I kind of got more and more into it.
Okay.
And I decided to kind of set up on my own, because then I could be more in control of what I was doing as an investigator.
Yeah. So there's a lot of groups out there with what you're saying. There's a lot of groups, and some, they might suit some more than they suit others. For your group, what is it that makes your group stand out from the crowd?
I like to keep my groups, if I can, smaller. There are a lot of other groups and companies out there that do large groups. For me, I think it needs to be more on an intimate level, having smaller groups. I do think that certain phenomena happens when it's a smaller group.
And finally, I assume over the years that you've been doing this, you've mentioned yourself, you've collected some audible evidence, some visual evidence. Do you share that with the public, or do you kind of keep it to yourself, like an X-Files type thing? Is it something that you're willing to share? Is it something maybe we could show later on in this film?
So I have quite a lot of photographs, and I know when they were taken and in the environment they were taken, and I know when I've taken them, they haven't been doctored at all. So I do show them, I do share them to people, and they take what they want from what they're looking at. If they want to say, oh my God, I completely 100% believe what you've taken, that's brilliant. If they've got questions about it, that's fine, because if you capture the gold dust of an apparition, that is like what you really want to capture. Yeah. But some people still won't say, I'm not sure about that, I don't believe you. Yeah. But I'm completely open in sharing my footage. I don't mind people critiquing it, or because I may be seeing something that I really think is possibly supernatural phenomena, but maybe it's not. I mean, I have been filming at a place called Blackfriars Priory in Gloucester, and I was filming, and a guest was behind me saying, "Are you seeing that? It looks like a boy was standing in the doorway. It really looked like a boy's face in the doorway." But as I zoomed in and got closer, it was the wood. It was a wooden door frame. Okay. When it got closer, it was just the wood, the change in the wood. Colour. So, I was like, oh my God, there's definitely a boy there. We both thought it was a boy, but I thought, no, get closer, just the wood. There you go. So I'm thinking, yes, I've caught something. Turns out not to be. So I'm quite happy to share my footage and have people share their feelings and thoughts about it. So,
okay. Yeah. Well, talking about evidence, shall we go and try and get some ourselves?
Yes, please.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's go inside. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Next up were two participants in the investigation, Erin and Leanne. So what brought you to this investigation tonight?
She did.
I was invited on the investigation as I've never been here.
Okay.
And my friend Tannith was coming, so she was like, you have to check out Guys Cliffe because it's super haunted. So.
Okay. And then she mentioned Guys Cliffe, and I've been here once before, so it was just a great opportunity to come back and see if I get similar experiences, if I get more experiences. Yeah, just revisit really.
Okay, so you've come along. We're kind of part way through the investigation now, a couple of hours in. Have you encountered anything, captured anything?
Yeah. We've had some intelligent responses. Upstairs in the attic room, I asked if anyone's here. I'd love to hear you walk into the room, so please can we hear your footsteps? And straight away we heard boom, boom, boom. So that was kind of cool. Yeah.
And it was cool because we were all in a big group as well, so more than, I think all of us heard it, which is cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel like it's going to be a good night going forward? Do you feel like you're going to capture some more stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So when it comes to the paranormal, what is your personal beliefs? What do you think's actually going on here?
I'm sort of a bit of a flip-flop person, whereas if something happens, I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. And then there's some investigations where you think, door, car, belly. So yeah, I sort of flip-flop, but
okay.
I'm open to being proved wrong or right.
Okay.
Yeah, the longer I've been doing it, the less of a believer, I guess, because you can see the how you rationalise things and what's causing certain activity, etc. But I like to refer myself as like Mulder. I want to believe.
Okay.
So I really do want to believe. I want there to be something, but I'm just waiting for my proof.
But you're kind of a Scully as well, though.
Yeah.
You're looking at it quite scientifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm currently studying parapsychology, so I'm seeing it from that viewpoint as well. So I'm very open-minded. Next up was Susie and Nikki, part of the GC Paranormal team.
We've just been down in what they call the wine cellar part of the location. We had quite a bit of activity. Would you like to just talk us through what you experienced personally down there?
Had a voices coming from in the corner where I was stood to, and Nikki was calling out, and it went all a bit weird, and then something grabbed back of my calf and
Grabbed your leg.
I screamed a little bit.
And we have checked for any marks. There
Yeah,
doesn't seem to be anything
there's no
going
marks,
on
so
the
checked,
leg.
yeah.
No. And it was when we started asking for Alistair Crowley, who apparently has links to this location. That's when things started to get a bit more active.
Yeah.
So you're part of the GC Paranormal group. I know the story behind the Banshee Squad. That's been explained to us already. What was it that made you join the group originally?
Well, we met Greg. Well, Greg joined us. We were on a different ghost hunt, and Greg was put with us and said those girls were all right. And then Susie took over by something, ended up hitting Greg and everything like that. And we've been friends with him for about
Oh, right, okay.
for about
So-
5-6 years.
So to be friends with Greg, you have to get possessed and hit him.
Yeah, hit him, yeah.
Yeah, she was actually really, really hitting him.
Oh, right,
And
okay.
that's how we actually met Greg.
Right, okay, and
the
then you
first
kind
time.
of just fell into
And
coming
then,
into his
yeah,
group.
it was
Yeah.
just- yeah.
Okay, so do you have any thoughts or opinions on what it is that you're investigating? Any theories on what we're looking at here beyond we're just dealing with dead people? Do you have any theories?
No, I like to think that there's something else out there and that they can
There's something.
communicate with us to let us know what has gone on or
There's something out
in
there,
the
but I'm not
past.
quite sure
Yeah,
what.
but we're not sure.
Okay.
We've seen shadows, we've heard things, but nothing major concrete.
Yeah, okay. So given that, what would you say is the best piece of evidence that either of you have caught at an investigation?
Would have been
What we've ever caught was on a voice recorder at Wookie Hole, the man growling in our ear.
Okay, you
Yeah.
caught that on an
Yeah.
EVP?
Yeah.
You actually
Yeah.
caught that recording?
Yeah.
or one done in Shepton Mallet Prison where we had a Ouija board.
Yeah.
And at the same time as with a voice recorder, on our video camera, an orb came out of the Ouija board, and at the same time we got "I'm sorry" on a voice recorder.
Right, and you picked that up
At
again
exactly
as
the
evidence?
same time. Yeah, it was exactly the same time.
Wow. Okay. What kind of equipment do you like to use? Do you have a favourite piece?
Voice recorder.
Voice recorder, because you're getting evidence like that,
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah. Is that the same for you, Nikki?
Yeah.
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 Voice recorder.
Yeah.
Okay. And then with Greg, do you enjoy going to all the different locations? Do you have a favourite location that you've been to?
Favourite Shepton Mallet, I reckon.
Shepton Mallet.
Shepton Mallet, that's a prison, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I've heard of that. I've never been there myself. Is it quite active?
It can
It
be,
can
yeah.
be, yeah.
It can be.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we go and rejoin the team and see how
Yeah.
they're getting
Yeah.
on? Thank you very much.
Whilst in the wine cellar part of this location, we were conducting some calling out, and all was relatively quiet, until it was mentioned that Alistair Crowley had links to the location. At this point, the team became nervous and began behaving in an anxious manner. From this point on, all apparent noises were interpreted in a malicious way. I find this interesting how a group's behaviour and perception can be altered by something as simple as a name that has evil connotations.
Okay, so we're here with the last two members of the Banshee Squad of GC Paranormal. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name's Ally.
I'm Colette.
Ally and Colette, thank you for joining us. How have you found tonight? Has it been? Would you say this is a good investigation? Has it not been so good? How would you rate it?
It's not very active,
Ali always says that though.
but then I always say that because I'm a skeptic and
Okay.
I kind of need to have a full-on apparition and slap me in the face before I'll believe. So it's a fabulous location though, absolutely fabulous.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's been quite quiet so far, but it's only just gone past midnight, so we're here till 3, so,
Oh, right, so plenty of time.
it should kick off soon,
Yeah.
hopefully.
It's interesting you say that. For me, when I used to do this, it wasn't so much about the paranormal as much as just getting to see beautiful places and
Absolutely.
etc. Do you find that for yourself
Yeah,
as well?
I mean when friends of mine take
Yeah.
the mickey out of me, oh, you know, what should you do? Go ghost hunting? That's absolutely ridiculous. Ghosts don't exist and all the rest of it. I said, well, you know, I can't prove they do. They can't prove they don't. But I've just seen some amazing locations.
and areas of locations that
Absolutely.
the public wouldn't normally get
No.
to see.
No.
Yeah, correct.
No, and
So-
that's what's really amazing.
Yeah,
Because you'd never come to a place like this if you weren't
No.
doing a ghost hunt, would you?
No,
Yeah.
you wouldn't.
no. And for yourself, is that more of a
working with a skeptic? Are you more of a believer? Do you sit on that side of the fence?
I am a believer now. I wasn't initially. I first started ghost hunting about 7 years ago because Ally, where she worked, said, "Oh, they're on a ghost hunt in the building. Let's go." I was like, "Oh, all right then." And it's just infectious, basically, and you just grow and grow. And I'm at the point now where I'm investigating nearly every single week.
Wow.
So yeah,
It's become a big part of your life.
It has. I'm actually in 2 teams myself, and I also book on with GC Paranormal as well. So yeah, I like to be doing it every week.
So for you, Ally, being a skeptic, why are you here?
Because
are you
I want
yourself. Are you wanting?
No,
to see
I want to. I want to believe. I want to believe that there are ghosts. I want to believe in the paranormal. I also find it incredibly good fun, just walking around a dark building with a torch and, get that adrenaline and that little bit of fear going. I mean, if I did see one and did come up and slap me in the face, I'm not too sure what I'd do. But I do. I mean, I would love to be a believer,
Okay.
but I've not actually had anything happen. I mean, I have had things happen, but nothing that I could say is concrete evidence yet.
We've had a lot happen.
Well, yes.
So that was my next question, actually. What piece of evidence, or not necessarily that you've captured but experienced, would you say is the best that you've ever had?
I think it's got to be Jamaica Inn with me.
Jamaica Inn for me, because that's where I saw my first ever apparition, and that was on one of Greg's nights. Probably last year, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, February time last year, off the top of my head.
So you saw a full figure?
Yes, it was a little boy, blonde hair, wearing a flat cap, and I was sitting on the bed in room 3. We were all in there. It was about 3:30 in the morning, I think.
Yeah.
And he was basically peeping up and down.
And was that just
playing
you that
peekaboo.
saw it, or did anyone else?
Louisa also saw it, who was
Okay.
in the room with us as well, and she could see it and confirmed. And I also spoke to Kieran afterwards, who runs the nights down there, and they have it documented that has been seen before as well, which cemented it for me, thinking, yeah, I have actually seen something now. And that kind of opened my mind a bit, and since then I have been seeing more and more apparitions.
Okay. And do either of you have a favourite piece of equipment that you use?
I do, yeah.
I don't. Oh, well,
Yeah.
apart from your ice cream van.
I wasn't going to say that.
Oh, the ice cream. What's your favourite piece of
my
equipment?
favourite is my spirit box. I love doing Esther's.
A spirit box is a device that supposedly communicates with spirits by scanning FM and AM radio frequencies at a fast speed. Investigators gather around the device and listen out for meaningful words or phrases that may be relevant to their investigation.
Yeah.
Do you use things like spirit boards, Ouija boards?
Yeah.
That's something I've not really seen tonight.
No.
Greg doesn't do it too much, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. But being on a team, or 2 teams now, obviously being a team member, you don't touch the Ouija board, the guests touch the Ouija board.
Yeah.
So, it's open to interpretation otherwise.
Yeah.
So I very rarely get to use one. But I went on an investigation last weekend in the House That Cries, Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
So got to use a Ouija board with people I trust. Nothing happened.
Really?
Absolutely nothing happened for us.
Wow.
But yeah, never mind.
I've had good stuff on a Ouija board.
I've had it in the past,
powerful.
yeah, but it's it's not going to happen every single
No,
time,
no.
is it?
Of course.
But yeah.
No.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At one point during the evening, whilst outside, myself and several others witnessed a shadow moving in the derelict part of the building. Interestingly, this shadow appeared in an upper window that had no floor. Here you can see us trying to debunk what we saw before finally accepting that we had no explanation for it. A healthy investigation is one that has a mixture of both believers and skeptics. An open skeptic taking part in this investigation was Steve.
Okay, and you're Greg's partner.
I'm Greg's partner, yeah.
And that's interesting because I often come to these type of places and we see partners who are really, they've kind of joined this thing together. It's been a journey they've taken from the start. Is that the same for you, Steve?
Yeah, well, Greg's always been interested in the paranormal world. At first, I was a complete skeptic. I thought, what a nonsense, it's just little weirdos kind of sitting around a table with a glass trying to speak to people. But together we've done hundreds and hundreds of investigations over the years. And
I've experienced things, seen things, felt, heard, and touched things which you can't explain. And I would now consider myself to be a skeptic, but an open-minded skeptic. So I'm on that fence now.
And is there any message that you would like to give to skeptics that might be watching this? Who are, I know skeptics who point blank refuse to even entertain doing something like this. Is there a message you'd like to give them?
Well, I'd say give it a try. I mean, you don't know what's out there. I mean, we can't sit here and say we're the only things alive on this planet. And if you're open-minded, sometimes you feel silly asking out into a room expecting something to go bang. But if you're with a group of people that are all into the same thing, I enjoy it. I love it. I love the investigation. I'd like to see a ghost, if you like, walk through that door now. I'd love to be proved wrong, but I love the investigation. But I'd say give it a try. If you're completely sceptical, as long as you try your best, then that's it. If you don't like it, then don't do it anymore. But I'd say definitely give it a try.
Okay. And what are as you kind of developed from solid skeptic to on the fence, have you developed any theories on what it is that you're encountering? What is this paranormal thing that we're looking at?
I haven't actually. I think so much of the time I myself try and find rational explanations as to what I've heard, for example. Sometimes I think to myself, yeah, that was definitely someone moved in a chair and it's creaked. But I haven't got a theory. I've not been asked that before actually, but I can't even think of what theory I would have come up with. I'm just really, really interested to see if there is anything out there at all.
Okay, well that's interesting in itself. It seems like you're approaching this from a fascination perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
You're just interested in seeing what's. You don't want to go too deep maybe at this moment in time. You're just interested in experiencing.
Yeah.
And I guess that mirrors your journey. I think as you maybe if you cross that fence and you become more of a believer, you might begin to develop theories.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the moment I start believing, I think that's when your theory will develop, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Because at the moment I can't really develop a theory on something which I don't quite believe in 100%. Yeah. I don't know what the theory would be. It'd be interesting for myself to think to myself, what would I come up with? But I think as I believe, if I do cross that line, then I don't know what my theory would be. I really haven't given it much thought actually.
Brilliant. Well, should we go and carry on trying to work
out
theories?
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
It was great to spend an evening with GC Paranormal and their guests. It was full of enthusiastic believers and open-minded skeptics, which lent itself to an enjoyable and productive investigation. Whilst not as active as we would have liked, it was great to hear the thoughts and opinions of the team and their guests, proving that there is more to paranormal investigating than capturing evidence.